Hey Geek, so I've had my Framework 13 laptop now for about 6 months at the time of this video, and at the same time I have been traveling internationally for about 6 months, and so this has been my only computing device. And previously, whenever I'm at home, I have a PC that I built, and it's pretty powerful for me, so it allows me to do everything that I need. But since I knew I was going to be traveling for the long term, I needed a more powerful laptop versus the one that I had previously, which is about 6 to 7 years old, and it definitely couldn't handle the type of work that I need today. And so I'm going to review my straightforward pros and cons in using the Framework 13 laptop and whether or not this is something that's going to be right for you. So I'm going to start right off the bat with the pros of the Framework 13 laptop. And the first and most obvious thing is the repairability on this. There is simply no laptop brand currently on the market that gives you so much flexibility when it comes to repairing your laptop. I could basically replace any part of this, and it's almost like a do-it-yourself laptop. And this is the one that I got. It's a DIY laptop. You basically put everything together, and that's probably the closest that we're probably going to get so far to building your own laptop, and that is absolutely the best thing about it, and it is the main reason why I got this laptop. And then the second thing to go along with it, since you can basically replace everything on here, including all your ports right here, you don't have as much waste. And so something like environmental waste is important. A lot of these electronics just go into garbage bins or trash bins, or really bad places somewhere around the world. And I think this is really important for you to be able to reuse a lot of things as much as possible. And so those two things are probably the best things that I like about it: the repairability, and also the fact that it doesn't go into some type of electronics trash bin somewhere, because I have a whole bunch of old laptops that, well, I really can't use anymore. And then the third thing is, I do like the overall mission and values of the people who founded Framework and what they're trying to do, because for the longest, I know other companies have tried to do something like this, where it basically allows you to upgrade with maximum flexibility. However, none of those have even gotten close to what Framework has been able to do so far. And so all of those things are the reason why I got the Framework 13 laptop, and I think it really lives up to it. Now, let's go ahead and go into the cons, because this is where I think a lot of people might be wondering, is it worth getting the Framework 13 laptop? I'm going to go ahead and start off with the first con, and that's the simple fact that this is not a cheap laptop. This is a very expensive laptop comparatively versus other laptops that are pre-built with the same amount of specs. At least right now, you could get way more powerful hardware for the same amount of money. So at the time that I got this, it was around $1,500, and then when I added external drives and stuff like that, it was around $1,800. So a very, very expensive laptop. And this is like kind of like the base model, and so I got the AMD chipset on here. I don't remember which one it is. It's not the most powerful, but the reason why I did that is, well, for my needs it works, and I could upgrade the CPU GPU later, and so it wasn't a big deal. And in terms of RAM and stuff, I got 64 gigs of RAM. I got SSDs in here, and I also got like the USB storage over here to where I could run both Windows and Linux. And Linux is my primary operating system, and then I'm running Windows 11 here just in case I need it. So I do have a dual boot, and so it allows me a lot of flexibility. And since it is a do-it-yourself laptop, I get to put on it what I want, the operating systems I want, the type of hardware. All of those things are absolutely awesome, but it's definitely not a cheap laptop. And if you're looking for the best value for money at this point in time, Framework is not it. And then when it comes to like overall performance, my needs are fairly simple. I use it for things like spreadsheets, emails, things like that, and that works just fine. But the thing that I really needed more power on was actually video editing. And so far, I really haven't had any major issues on this. I use DaVinci Resolve in this. I use Kdenlive. I use multiple video editors, but those are the two main ones that I use. And this has very good performance for what it offers, and so it definitely fit my needs for that. In terms of gaming, I have done some gaming on this, but it's definitely not a gaming machine. And if you're looking for that, you're probably gonna have to get a more powerful CPU, GPU combo, or maybe upgrade to the larger Framework 16. And so those are the first two cons, but let me talk about the major con of this. This is the one thing that I think it's a really big problem with it that might set some people off. And it's a simple fact that at least right now with this, it just overheats a lot. Even when I'm like doing things like just browsing, have multiple tabs open, I'm not doing video editing or anything, the fan kicks on and this bottom part gets really, really hot. I really can't even put on my lap for too long. And so that is something that hopefully Framework can fix in the future. I'm pretty sure they can, but the overall heat on this, you know, it feels like it's overheating, but it's not. However, the temperature is definitely hot, at least for me, and it is the hottest laptop that I've had so far, and I mean by temperature, versus any other laptops that I've had previously. And that really like brings down the overall quality, I feel, because for this price, I would expect not only good to great performance, but also something that you could actually use as a laptop, having it on your lap. So that's been my experience with this. Maybe you've had a different experience if you've had a Framework laptop. But overall, if you want a laptop that has maximum repairability, flexibility, it's also environmentally sustainable for the most part, and also the mission statement of the company. I do really love those things about Framework. The cons on this are the price, the power to performance for what you're paying, and the simple fact that it gets really, really hot. But other than that, I think if you're just somebody just looking for a laptop, I'm not gonna lie to you, you're probably gonna be better off just getting something that you're gonna get more for your money. However, if you want that repairability, you want more openness on your laptop and all those other things, at least right now, Framework is the best out there. And at least for me, it's kind of like an investment for the future. And since I have been using this as my only machine for like 6 months, it's worked well for me. I just hope in the future we're able to have it to where it doesn't just get as hot or overheat as much as it does, at least for the laptop that I have. So if you actually had any thoughts on this or any other laptops that you enjoy using, be sure to leave in the comments area below. And if you did want to see my original unboxing of this, original thoughts, I will leave a video in the description area below. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on another episode.